Hello, welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. Today it's just Nana because Papa's not here, but I wanted, if I didn't start, I was never gonna start, so we'll see how this goes. First of all, if you even see this, that's amazing and cool. I don't expect it, but you know, hey. Second, this is a podcast about knitting mostly, but when Papa's here, he'll be talking about books and movies and all the stuff I don't. I read a little and I listen to a lot of books, but I don't read or listen to nearly as many as my husband. He's a very prolific reader, and so he will probably pop in from time to time to share his thoughts on whatever movies he's watching or books he's reading, and I'll be here sharing about my knitting, sometimes my spinning, and sometimes crocheting. I do that from time to time. Not as much as I used to, but I still do crochet from time to time. So let's get into it. First, what am I wearing? Because that's what most podcasters do. This is a ranunculus, and I could not understand for the longest time why people would knit it. And not knit the love note, because I am a diehard lover of the love note. But truth be told, I like how this feels when I wear it, although the neckband keeps stretching like it was just where I wanted it, and then the more I wear it, the less it is, and then I have to block it again, and it goes a little bit back, so I may be picking up and adding additional because I don't want it falling off my shoulders. I don't like that part, but the rest of it makes me happy. And the fit in here is super comfortable. And I did the sleeves a little different. I just bound off so that it would create a rolled hem. I didn't do any decreases at all, and I stopped it at the elbows, which are perfect for me. In the bottom, I did a 1x1 hem with a tubular bind off. And the yarn I used in this is Knitting for Olive. I don't remember the colorway. And then the Mohair was not Knitting for Olive. It was Tynn. No, whatever Sandnes Garn's Mohair is. I can't think of it at the moment. But yeah. That's what I'm wearing. Finished objects. I have finished some stuff recently, but they're all gone, so I'm not gonna bother sharing that. So I'll just get into my whips. So I have a lot. Those that know me are like, how do you do that? Currently knitting on this, and I was knitting on it just before we started. So it's inside out. I am knitting the color work at the moment inside out because it's one that does try to get too tight. This is the Schneeflocken. No, I have not woven in the ends. This is a pattern. I want to say Amy Solomon. It'll be in the down bar. No, it's not Amy Solomon. Anyway, it's the Schneeflocken. It is color work at the bottom, color work on the sleeves. The sleeves are meant to go past the arm to keep the hands a little warm, and then you can fold down the cuff if you want. And this is a gift knit, so hopefully I can get it done. I started it a long time ago, but I'm super happy. I'm really close to being done with it. It's getting really close now. It's felt like forever, but we're getting there. And that's the Schneeflocken. Oh, the yarns. The green was a gift yarn that was given to me by a wonderful woman in Wisconsin. And it's a Knit Picks yarn, but I don't remember the actual type of yarn, and I definitely don't remember the colorway. It's a very dark green, but I did not see this yarn on their website, so I think it's a yarn they no longer carry. But it's a beautiful dark green. It's just stunning. Okay, my next project is here. This one is also really close to being done. This is the Hush Sweater by Tin Can Knits. This is my second one. The yarn I'm using in this one is, this yarn is from Woolyknit, and it's their British wool. Got this yarn thanks to the Creabea and their Conalong, and this was just a 200 gram hank of their British wool, and I think in any size that 200 gram would more than give you enough for the Hush, even if you made it really long. I can't see you running out. So if you're thinking about making it, and it's super warm and nice. And then the mohair I'm using is Diablo by Hobbii. It is 40% acrylic and 30% mohair with 30% polyamide. I just needed to see if I can make a comfortable sweater that was a little less expensive on the pocketbook. You know, when you spend $400 on a sweater and then you go, I could have done that a little different maybe, but you know, live and learn. So this is again the Hush Sweater by Tin Can Knits. If you've knit the Love Note, you will love it. It just replaces the color, the lace with the cable pattern, and it's just stunning, just stunning. And that one I expect to have done very, very soon. This next project was a knit along with Denise Bayron, a Bayron Handmade, I think is her. And it's not it's not the pattern's fault that I haven't gotten it done. It's just I have way too many things on the go, and I had some gift knits, and I really wanted to get the gift knits done, and I did, and they're in the mail on the way to the recipients. But the one gift knit, I think I reknit 4 times because I forgot that Surrey silk has fewer yards than mohair silk, and so silk mohair that you get from indie dyers typically has 440 yards per 50 grams, and the Surrey silk is around 380. And so I ran out of the Surrey silk, and I had hand dyed it, and so I couldn't re-dye it and get the same color. I tried and failed, so I had to unpick it and reknit it, and that didn't work, so I unpicked it again and reknit it, and hopefully the recipient likes it. But it was a battle and I won. And this is, oh, it was her, it's a beret. I want to say it's the light beret, or I'll put it below. But I am going to finish it. The yarn is super deep stash. I want to say it's Malibrigo Rios. I'm almost certain, but I don't know the colorway. But I've had it for a very long time and never used it, and this seemed to be just perfect. And for blue, this is like the perfect blue. If it's gonna be a solid, that's my favorite blue. Alright. Next, I have so much here. 1 second. We are precarious here. We are very precarious here because, you know, I have too much stuff on the go. This, oh, by the way, this bag is from Adore Knit, and I own it, and I just want you to know, although I enjoyed the books, I do not support this person who's behind these books. I don't purchase their stuff anymore, even if it's something that some other creator made, because I don't want to support that human. And that's just my choice, and you do you. And I'm tangled, but that's alright. Okay, so this is, most people think of this as the shawl, and it is the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along from last year. I knit this and got the instructions for section 2 and went, I'm not knitting that. And I love section 1. So I'm making a second section 1, and I'm going to connect them over the shoulders with another section. And I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking that the third section here is going to be my pink, which was my pop-up color for the original. But I may decide to just go ahead and keep it with the green, the lighter color. They're both greens. The yarns in here are I got this from the dark green. I got from Dinah at the knitting place in New York. I can't remember the dyer, but I will definitely put it down below. And but the lighter color is hand dyed by me, as is the pink. They're both things I dyed. Yeah, and the yarns that I dyed are VFL nylon. The other is Merino. Of that I'm certain, but I really don't remember the name of the dyer, and I don't have. I'm so sorry. Next time I will find that information before I start podcasting, you know, do it professionally, because, you know, but alright, so there is the Twist and Turns modified into a sweater. Next I have, before I show you this next work in progress, I want to show you my acquisition. Oh, this bag is SassySaks. I'll put it down below. She's amazing. She's from Brooklyn, I think, and her bags are amazing. Just amazing. I have a lot of them. Well, because I like her. Oh no, this is not my purchase. That's my whip. We'll come back to that. I follow and watch the Lefty Knitter podcast, and I adore Aquila and John and Hayes very, very much, but Aquila has the coolest service where she will crank your yarn into tubes, and so then you can use those tubes to make socks or mittens or both, depending on the yarn. These I sent to her to be cranked, and I honestly have no idea what yarn this is because I lost the band, but I think that turned out spectacular. I cannot wait to have this, and I was gonna make it into socks, and I may make shorties, but these need to be fingerless mitts for work, so where I can see them every day because they are just gloriously beautiful. And then these are from Unplanned Peacock Studio, and it is superwash merino nylon, 75/25, 460 yards, and there's no color on here, so, but it's just a purple, and that's definitely going to be turned into socks. For the record, I do not like knitting socks, but I love wearing my wool socks, And so these tubes make it so that I can have socks, although I currently have a lot of socks made for me by a dear friend who just has no idea how much I appreciate them. But this is Knit Picks, and it is their Chroma Twist, which I don't even know that they carry anymore. It was 70% superwash nylon, or superwash merino, 30% nylon, and I love green, and this is kind of a gradient. It changes colors. It's hard to see, but it's really light, and then it gets really dark, and then it goes back to light, and then back to dark, and back to light. But I don't think it's enough that you would even notice when you're wearing them, but I think they'll make really good socks. So, in that vein, another cake that she did for me, or another tube, I've already split the tube. This was a 50 gram 50 grams from, what is it, Turtle Pearl, I think, but I'm not certain. I can't remember for sure. And I've already split it. I'm doing ribbing right now for a cuff, and the ribbing that I am using is this Knit Picks Twill in a very dark navy, and I'm gonna put ribbing for the cuffs, and then I'm gonna come up and I might add a little ribbing at the top, like come down and turn this into ribbing. I'm not sure, but I am going to cut in a thumb and put in a gusset for a thumb. I've not done that before, but I'm going to try and put in a thumb on the side of those and turn them into mittens. It'll be my first time trying that, but I wear fingerless mitts at work all the time because the air conditioning hitting my hands is not comfortable. It keeps my body nice and temperate, but it tends to really make my hands hurt if they get too cold working in an office. So I'm very excited about that. But these, don't expect to see these done like even maybe this year, because this is not my happy place. Sweaters are my happy place, but I do like having something that I can turn to now and again. So that's my and so this whip is going to be frogged. However, it is not the pattern's fault. It is not the yarn's fault. It is the knitter's fault. This sweater confirmed I cannot knit raglan sweaters. I just can't. And I know that 90% of the knitting world thinks that raglan sweaters are the easiest sweaters to knit and to wear, and they're happy place, and more power to you. I think you're awesome and amazing and incredible that you can do it, because I cannot. I don't knit. Here, I'll just show you. I will pick this up and we'll talk a minute. I don't look at my knitting. That I just use my thumb and it tells me what to do, and then I hit a stitch marker and I go, oh, you need to increase, and I'll increase on the wrong side of the stitch marker, or I'll not increase, but maybe it's a row that I'm not supposed to, because one row you do and one row you don't, and are you on the increase row or are you not on the increase row? And I'll knit along and then drop a stitch marker not knowing I dropped a stitch marker, and then I will end up with 4 inches with no increase on one of the raglans, because there was no marker to tell me, hey, it's an increase spot, because I'm not looking at my knitting, which is my fault. But I don't like to look at my knitting. I like to do other things. I knit when I'm working. I knit when I'm watching shows. I knit when I'm in the grocery store. I knit when I'm walking. I just don't look at my knitting unless it's a complicated pattern. So I am just going to rip this out and use this in a different tee. The yarn is Paragon Sport from Knit Picks, and I do love their yarn. I also love hand dyed, and you'll see that coming soon. I do love to knit with and apparently collect hand-dyed yarn, but this pattern, it really needed to be a solid the way that it was written, and maybe one day I will force myself to figure out how to stay focused and look at my knitting and get through this pattern. But I have ripped it more than I've re-knit the same 4 inches at least 8 times because I keep completely messing up the raglan. And when you mess up a raglan, it's not like you can just add a stitch somewhere. This doesn't fit and the arm's not in the right place, and there's no undoing except ripping back. When I knit a circular yoke, if I miss the increase round, no harm, no foul, I throw it in and it will adjust as long as I don't go 5 inches without increasing. And I'm increasing the whole way around, not in one specific spot that I have to remember. And so for me and my lazy knitting self, I prefer a circular yoke, hands down, over any other, because it's just simple. And I like the way they fit on me. Alright, that said, do I have any... I feel like there's more... I'm just seeing if there's any more whips that I need to show. We went over that. Alright, so now we're going to go on to future knits. Now, I don't know when I'll cast these on because I'm really trying hard. Thank you, Needles at the Ready, for your spring cleaning knit along, because I am powering through these whips and trying to get them off my needles. But I wanted to tell a story first. I have some friends who are transgender, some who are still trying to wait for surgery, some who have gone through surgery, and one of them is transitioning to female, and none of their clothes, well, most of them going through this, their clothes don't match who they are today. They just don't. And so this one friend, I said, well, if I made you a t-shirt, would you wear it? And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. And so I asked, well, what color would you, what's your favorite color? And they're like, you know what, I don't know yet, but I would love to have something with the transgender, or the transgender flag, the light blue, light pink, and a white, something with those colors in it. I would like something like that. And I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked at indie dyers, at regular yarns, trying to find something that didn't look baby but still fit that theme or that mood, and I couldn't find it. And so I reached out to quite a few independent dyers and said, hey, I'm looking for this, I can't find it, do you do custom colors so that I could get this color? And some of them reached back and said no, they don't, and some of them never responded. And Frankie Gray Fibres in Canada, I still tear up because they did it. They did it. They just seemed thrilled with the idea, and then they named the color TransLove. Oh, that light. TransLove. How just y'all, they do not know how happy they made this lady. And so now the person who said they would like that they don't talk to me anymore, but anyway, so I'm gonna make it for me. And because I'm making it for me, and this is not, not something I gravitate to, pastels are not my jam, but the theme behind it matters. Always Be Kind Yarns has my favorite self-striping yarn ever, which is the Inclusive Pride Flag. And I found a pattern, and I wish I could tell you the name of it. It'll be down below. It's glorious. It has a line on the front and the back where you're doing shorter rows. And then the other color here. And it's done, I don't want to give it away, but it's done in a really cool way where you're knitting in the round, but you're not. And it's epic, and I'm here for it. Thank you, Michael. And so my plan is I'm pretty sure that I'm going to need these two to go on this side, and I have these three for the rest of the sweater. I am doubtful that I will do long sleeves, but maybe I will, because who knows. But I live in Austin, Texas, and long sleeves they're usable for, I don't know, a month at the most, and that's really not all at one time. It's 2 days here and 4 days there and 1 day here. You can actually get away with long sleeves. So I'm not certain yet whether it'll be long sleeve, but it will definitely be self-striping, and then this, and then yeah. But I'm over the moon excited for that project, and I don't know when it will get done. I'm hoping that I can cast it on for Pride and finish it for Pride, but I'm not casting on anything until I am done with the sweaters that I really want to finish, which this one and this one absolutely have to be done before I cast anything else on. And then I would really like to get the twist and turns, at least with sleeves and past the body, so then it's just stockinette for days. And then at that point I may cast on something else that has more complicated to it. I don't know. Along with future plans, I was blessed beyond reason to be the recipient of I can't even think of the word right now, scholarship to go to the Hill Country Weavers Retreat. And it blew me away. Like, the classes, I took classes from Sylvia Watts Cherry. If you get a chance, she is incredible, and I learned so much. And I'm hoping to apply that to a sweater that I create soon. But I don't know when that's going to be, because there's so many other things I want in it, and only one of me. But while I was there, we got, with our bag of goodies for the retreat, we got 2 skeins of yarn from La Bien-Aimée. And these skeins are they're Allura base, which is 400 meters or 437s per 100 grams, but they are 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere. And when I touched them, I knew that these yarns are screaming to be a shawl. Now, if you know me, you know that shawls are not my happy place. However, I have realized that the reason I don't like knitting shawls is that most of the shawl patterns that I have knit have been complicated. They have been, you have to increase here and you have to decrease here, and you're only increasing on every 4th row, and you're only, I can't do that. I cannot knit. Again, we're back to, I don't want to look at my knitting. I don't want to focus on my knitting. I want to enjoy it and just be knitting and in that zen space where the world disappears for a little bit. So, this yarn, I am hoping to make Hobbii Locacelli's Pure Joy. And the reason that that's my intent is because I love the Pure Joy that the boys at Needles at the Ready have made, and I'm hoping that it will be mostly just joyful knitting. We shall see. It's being held in a chip basket. Y'all, I love Fiber Hustle. Those boys mean the world to me, and they don't even know why, but they do. They're awesome. And I should not have purchased this. It's not in my budget. I shouldn't have spent the money, but sometimes I just need a little joy. And this is a lot of joy. And every single time I pick this up and I knit with my incredible yarn that I was gifted from La Bien-Aimée, I am just going to be filled with joy. And so I don't know when I will cast this on. I'm guessing that I will cast it on after the Pride sweater, only because I really hope, I would like to get that done for Pride. When I make it, well, it's almost April and Pride is in June, and the likelihood is really slim because I'm horrible at knitting anything monogamously because it hurts my hands. I have to mix it up. I just have to. So the odds are really, really slim, but we're gonna try. And now I come to my last purchase, and I don't want to say that these are the only things I've purchased. It's just this is my first podcast, and these are recent purchases for the most part. Recent things that have come into my life. That one wasn't the yarn from La Bien-Aimée. Obviously, I didn't purchase, but still. Another person who has no idea how much they have affected my heart, but Jude over at Stranded Dye Works is living his authentic life, and I love him for that more than he knows. And I'm really sad for what he's gone through lately, but I hope that he finds joy. And anyway, and I hope I get to meet him one day, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But his yarn, y'all, if you have not been blessed to get some of his yarn, it's just glorious. And my favorite color on the entire planet is green. But not all greens are created equal. And I don't love all greens. I love this green. This is the epitome of perfect green. This is the green that takes all the sadness out of the world. I can't imagine not loving this green. This is the green that says that I'm alive. It's the green that it's just glorious. It's just perfect. And it's not all one color, but it is all one color. The depth of color in this skein is epic, and the color it is perfect. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. No clue. I do know that if the universe was perfect, I would have 3 skeins of this, and it would become a sweater all by itself, and I could wear this glorious color, and I probably would never wear another sweater as long as I live, because that would be, oh, I want to be happy today. Let me put my green sweater on. So that probably won't happen, but I may. I also have, from from Stranded Dye Works that I got some time ago, a patisserie, which is a cream color. So what I may do is I may do a striped tee and use this and patisserie, which I think would be glorious. But yeah, if you don't follow Jude over at Stranded, really, please, just, you won't be disappointed. You really won't. I think that's it for me. I don't know if anyone will see this. I don't know if anyone will watch it. I don't even know if I did okay. I'm hoping that when my husband comes back from Arizona that we will start recording. I don't expect to record but any closer than 2 weeks because I don't knit fast enough to have content in sooner than 2 weeks. And I will try to actually keep some excuse me. I will try to keep some finished objects and not just send them away right away, so you can see them. But everything that I've finished recent is already in the mail and gone, and that makes me happy. That I'm usually the absolute worst at sending things. I was going through my stuff, is just random chat. I was going through old papers. I don't know if you all do this, but you keep papers and then you go, I really need to go through this. I had a box of Christmas cards that I am certain I wrote these cards out in 2005. And the reason that I'm certain that I did is because that's the last time I saw one of the recipients in the box. And every last one of them were written out, they were sealed, they had their addresses, they just didn't have stamps, and they never got shipped. 2005, y'all. Like, who does that? Me, obviously. So if you get a handwritten card from yours truly, just know that you are one of the rarest birds in the world, because I write them and never send them. And yeah, I need to work on that maybe. Anyway, I do want to have a quick conversation, and if this makes people like go, oh hell no, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I am as far from conservative as you can possibly get. I am terrified by the status of this country, and I firmly believe that silence is saying you're okay with it. And so I will not ever be silent. Black lives do matter, and people should not in this country have to worry about getting in the car to go get groceries and worry about whether they're going to make it back alive just because of the color of their skin. And people should not have to worry about walking in public and making it home alive because of who they are. Shouldn't happen. And there's some seriously radical, crazy people who are going so far to the other end, and they're giving permission to others to live in that space of hate, and they're inciting this violence. And I don't care how you feel about your rights or your political affiliation or your anything. If you are silent about people being brutalized and killed because they're different and you're okay with that, I need you to think back about how you felt when you learned about what happened in Germany in the 1940s and 30s, when you were outraged in your class in school about how anyone could possibly allow that to happen, because your silence is being exactly like every last German who didn't speak up. You're no different. You're the same. You're acting the same. So maybe think for a minute. Anyway, back to happiness and joy. I will be participating tomorrow with the food knit along. Why can I not think? I tell you, it'll be in the down bar. So sad. Anyway, I hope to have this edited and up in time. But I will be participating in the food knit-a-thon from Laura Nilkin. And I am going to be hosting my own Zoom, because I always do on Sundays. You are always welcome to join my Zooms. I host them on Sundays and on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. And you're always welcome. Anyone is welcome. The only rule is be kind. You know, it's not a place for hate. And if you display hate towards others or use hateful speech, you will be blocked, removed and blocked, because it's my room. But other than that, you don't have to knit, you don't have to crochet. You can just show up folding your laundry, or show up and be drawing a picture. There is zero expectations. Just be in a place that's safe, and be in a place where people are kind. We could all use a little more of that. Until I think that's it, and hopefully 2 weeks. Saturdays are like the best day for me to record, and so I think I will continue recording on Saturday, and hopefully having it up Saturday night or Sunday, depending on my schedule. But I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful 2 weeks, and thank you again for even popping in if you choose to do so. Have a great day.